Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. My name is Kenny. It's a beautiful sunny day here. Let me tell you, we have got sunny. We've got sun today. This is the first time I think we've seen the sun in about 5 or 6 days. Now that is remarkable, but we're so happy to see the sun. So you stick around, if you will, and we're going to show you a little bit about, going to show you how to prepare an organic compost pile. Yes, that's right, an organic compost pile. So stick around and we're going to show you how to do that. Now we're here at my compost pile. I want to share with you a little bit about how I prepare a compost pile. It all starts very early in the spring. I usually, well, this one here is one of 2 compost piles. I start very early in the spring. Very early in the spring. And as you can see, it started out with just a big mountain of leaves. That's what I start with. That's what I start with. Now, an organic gardener, what does he do? He creates organic compost. Makes sense, right? Yes, it does. On top of this, now I have been adding regularly to this huge pile, and I've got another one over there. I've been adding kitchen waste, grass clippings, and a little bit of tree bark, and a little bit of wood chip or sawdust. In this case, I've added both of those. But right now, we are putting in about 50 pounds of food waste from my kitchen. And as you can see, I'm going to show it to you. This consists of coffee grounds, banana peels, orange peels, avocado peels, other stuff like celery pulp, all kinds of stuff that's just going to be blended into this pile. There is whole onions that are rotted. Now this compost pile, as you can see, it's got a blend of stuff that is naturally organic. Now, we have had a ton of rain for the past week, and this thing is really soaking wet. That's one of the key things that you need to understand, that, well, it has to be kept wet. In order for it to do its thing, you've got to keep it wet. But I'm going to blend in and show you what this is looking like since back in early spring. I'm going to blend this food substance, actually about 50 pounds of kitchen waste. I'm going to just blend it in, chop it up, and I'll add water to it later, which I don't need to add any right now because it is soaking saturated because we've had a tremendous amount of rain. Now on top of that, when I stir this in real good, you can see it's mostly of brown material. That's what I started out with, was brown material, which was a lot of leaves. And then you simply start adding on a regular basis throughout the time that you're going to use, get this pile completed. You simply add some other material. I will be adding, in a few minutes, a couple of minutes, I'm going to be putting some grass clippings on top of this. And really about the only thing I will be adding later will be a little bit of topsoil and a lot of horse manure that has been aged for 4, 5, 6 years. Now I'm going to move over here and we're going to add some grass clippings. These were cut earlier today. These were cut earlier today, so they are still very, very moist. I think that's a real good thing to do. I like to add my grass clippings while they are still very moist. That way they don't lose a lot of their nutritional content when you do it when they're really, really moist. Now I'm going to work this all in. I might not be able to get it all on video because we're going to do a very short one here, but I'm not going to be able to work it all in like I want to, but I'll get to it, trust me. See, that is all ready. It's about, this pile is about, since back in late, what was it, late March. Late March. So it's already decomposing really, really well. I mean, some people make a big bin. Of course, that's your privilege. But I really don't see a whole lot of point in it. This stuff is rotting, and it's not going to go anywhere. I do not add a lot of other stuff to this, really, because I don't believe it's necessary, because, well, I stick with what works, and this works for me. Now I'm tearing this really, really apart here as much as possible to really show you what this compost pile is gradually becoming. It takes a lot to blend this in here because this is a huge mound. It's a huge mound. And you have to be patient with compost. I've heard over the years, sometimes people, listen, you can't rush a good thing. I don't care what it is, what you're doing. You can't rush a good thing. Compost takes time, a lot of time, and you've got to be patient with it and let it do its thing. I love it when I see those big old round worms begin to just maneuver and do their thing. That's really, really important when those worms start doing their thing. Now this one has already, you won't be able to pick it up on the camera, but this one has already got a ton of worms. And so is that one over there. That's what makes a compost pile, is letting the worms just do their thing. But you can do this. If you're an organic gardener, you understand what I'm talking about. And if you're not, you probably don't know really too much about what we're talking about here. But it is very simple. I refuse to use anything but what I've already described to you about putting in the compost pile. Mainly just the kitchen waste, the grass clippings, a little topsoil, and a ton of aged horse manure. To me, that's all you really basically need. Although I'm sure there's lots of folks that may disagree with that and say that they're organic, but to me that's the basic fundamentals of a good compost pile. That's the fundamentals of a good compost pile. So I will be adding water to this probably maybe late this afternoon, or sometimes maybe by Monday. And I've got to add the rest of these grass clippings to it and then just let it do its thing. So basically that's all there is to it. It is so simple. Start it early. I recommend starting your compost pile very early in the spring. And you've got plenty time to let it do its thing. So we hope we have helped you with this. And if you like this, let me say in closing, if you like this, subscribe to our channel. And yes, give us a big thumbs up. And we would certainly appreciate it. Give us a big thumbs up. And listen, you have a great, great evening. And we'll talk to you later.